So let's think some about um, the file system. Now, as you know, our standard setup is to have a home directory, inside of there to have a Git directory, and inside of there to have our repository. And we do the same thing over here. As you can see, if I hover my mouse under a file name open in Visual Studio, I can see that I'm in my home directory, I'm in the Git directory, I'm in my repository, and that I have the README file open. If I opened another file and I hovered over it, you can again see C, users, Charlie, Git, your last name.github.io slash whatever the name of the file is, etc. Now, that's the way things should be. There's the whole file. It doesn't matter. We're not thinking about that right now. Here is the file explorer. Now, let's go to my home directory. Then let's open up the Git directory and let's find the repository where we're working. Excellent. All is good. Now, let's go to let's look for a second at this PC. And you can see I have just overloaded my C drive. I have a C drive and a D drive, right? So things could be on my D drive. I might, for instance, have a Git directory on my D drive, and inside of there, I might even have a copy of my coder Zendo. Now, I don't recommend doing this. In fact, I'm showing you this because it shows the chaos that can ensue. Let's, for instance, go File, Open Folder. Let's go to this PC. Let's go to the D drive. Let's go to the Git drive. Let's open Coder Zendo. Then let's open our README file. Let's change it. Let's save our work. I'm hitting Control S to save my work. Let's tab over to the command prompt and type git status. And lo and behold, nothing's changed. Why has nothing changed? Because over here, I'm on my D drive, Git directory, Coder Zendo, README file. Over here, I'm on the C drive. And it's not going to work. If, however, I come over here and choose File, Open, and then I go to my C drive, now look, there's another Git directory, right? Do you see how bad things can get if somebody's careless the way I can be? Don't be careless. Have only one Git folder. Have it in your home directory, and inside of there, put your repository. Then we open that. We open the README file. We change. We save. We come over here. We type git status. And lo and behold, we can see now we're editing the right file. Now, there are many different ways that you can have the wrong file open or the wrong copy of the file. I, I think you can imagine how it's very hard for me to predict all the different ways that you could end up. You could have two copies of your repository. You could have sort of magically thought that maybe if I create a directory called foo.github.io that it'll become magically my repository, forgetting that you need to type git clone. There are so many different things that could happen, and none of them are dumb. All of them are perfectly reasonable things to do when you're learning, right? We have to learn. And I'm trying as best I can to show you what to do to try to start learning the file system. I'm going to switch topics now and talk just a little bit about working at the command line here I am at the command line. The commands I use most often. Uh, CLS can clear my screen if it's getting confusing. Dir can show me the contents of the current directory. Type can show me the contents of a particular file. Notice that if I change this in the editor, save it, and then press up arrow and type readme again, I see the change I made, right? Um, so another thing you can do is type, well, let's do a CLS again. Another thing you can do is type cd dot dot, go back one directory. Now when you type dir, you see only your repository. Yours, of course, would be your last name.github.io. This is not charliecalvert.github.io because I'm doing other things in there, and Coderzendo is a better place for me to work. Of course, you should. All right, never mind. Um, Another thing you can do is do cd dot dot one more time, then you're in your home directory, which can be confusing, which is why I ask you to create a Git directory. And you can type cd Git to get into that directory, and then things are much less confusing because the only thing that will ever be in here is the repositories. Then you can type cd, and notice that I just type one letter and then type tab, or if you did happen to have two files with the same name, I can do that tab and it helps me find the directory. And then if I type dir, I can type dir, or I can say type out the contents of, say, the license file with a tab, and I can do it. I think now I've gotten to the point where I'm rambling and I'm just trying to give you too much information. The big ones are dir, cd, and type. Other things you can do is to delete a file, delete some file. I'm not going to delete one, but if I had something, I could delete it. Another thing I can do is make dir a directory called foo. And if I type dir now, you can see there is a directory called foo that was created. And if I don't like that directory, I can type remove dir foo. And now when I type dir, you can see that foo has gone away. I'm going to stop now. I'm just rambling. Okay.